It's a tradition at every conference that the board asks a few of the firms to take a few minutes to introduce themselves. Today, in the following order, we'd like to hear from SSEK out of Indonesia, followed by VLAF out of Vietnam, and then finally Philippe Prieto Carrizosa from Peru. Thank you.
It's my honor to be here today. Yes. And it's our pleasure to be a newest member of First Law International. And I'm so blessed to be here under the same roof with all the outstanding lawyers from prestigious law firms all over the world. As a new member, let me introduce you VLAF, Vietnam, and the opportunities that we have in Vietnam at the moment. So for those who are curious, who's VLAF? What the VLAF stand for? VLAF stands for Vietnam International Law Firm. And in Vietnam, we also known as VLAF Hồng Đức, named after the first court of Vietnam back in 15th century. So we have in here ourselves a history of the country. And our firm actually established in 1993 in association, exclusive association with the Clifford Chance. And we went independent 5 years after that. We grow ever since from 4 partners to 12 partners today, and about 50 lawyers, associate lawyers. With 2 offices in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, 2 major economic centers of Vietnam, we offer a broad range of service to clients. We have so what is the client? Sorry, go back again. So what does the client say about us? We see the main keywords that they talk about us is an excellent team. As the consistently considered as a one top law firm in Vietnam, we have a quality is always exceptions. We have the extremely responsive, and we have a good size of a firm that can offer a lawyer anytime that the client needs anything in Vietnam. So VLAF is consistently considered as a top-tier law firm, and we are ranked as a top-tier law firm by many editorials, famous one in the market, like Chamber of Partners, FLI, International Financial Law Review. So we won quite a number of awards from them. And just to share with you that in 2016, we won the double winning for a Vietnam Law Firm of the Year and the Projects Finance Deal of the Year. So VLAF have about 60 lawyers, changing up and down a bit because of our lawyer going abroad for study and go back to work for VLAF again. We gather the largest number of the senior lawyer in Vietnam, so we consider ourselves as the strongest team in Vietnam. Our partners used to work for an international law firm in Vietnam like Clifford Chance, Freshfield, Baker McKenzie, Mayer Brown, JSM, and most of our lawyers have more than 15 years of experience working in Vietnam. We offer a depth international practice and also the local expertise. That's the most valuable value that the client have from us. So you may know in Vietnam is that Vietnam is a developing country, and the legal system in Vietnam is underdeveloped. Most of the time we have to tell the client that the law is still in the development process, and most of the time you could see that the practice is different from the law, from the text of the law. So our task is to guide the client going through that minefield. That's very risky business in Vietnam, that you can see that sometimes the things that happen is not like you want to see in the text of law. But we have the government in terms of developing the law, drafting the law, so we know what's the rationale behind all that legal text, and we have the client with interpretation. So it's a bit about our team. So our legal service cover quite a lot of area. All the area of the business in Vietnam. We are covering the foreign direct investment, commercial corporate, M&A transaction, real estate, banking, finance, project finance, infrastructure project, construction, taxation, employment. So every area of the business in Vietnam we cover. And we have a client that been with us for many years, including the Ford, Philip Morris, Bunge, Shell, BNP Paribas, Citibank, HSBC, ANZ. So a lot of banks use our service. So VLAB as a place for the client to come, Vietnam is also a favorite investment destination. Last year we have a conference in Manila where we talk about the corporate governance scorecard for ASEAN Economic Committee, and Vietnam is not perfect. All the score of Vietnam is almost like lowest one in terms of the corporate governance. But a lot of people still come to Vietnam because Vietnam has a lot of opportunity. So you see here that the foreign investment in Vietnam coming from two sources, foreign direct investment and M&A. And Vietnam also suffer the economic recess like other countries, but then foreign direct investment is still keeping the trends of increasing, and the M&A start getting recoveries in 2013. So you see that the foreign investment in Vietnam, the register value of the investment is increasing 12.5% from 2015 to 2006, comparing to 2014. And in terms of the country, South Korea dominate the market with about 30%. It's followed by Malaysia, 10.9%. Japan, 8.1%, and Taiwan, 6.1%. In terms of the industry, we could see that the manufacturing cover about 66.9%, power generation and distribution, 12.3%, real estate and construction, 10.5%. And what makes Vietnam is a favorite destination because the politics somewhat stable in Vietnam. We have the cabinet change every 5 years, and normally we have 1 year business slow because everybody looking to see what the next change of the leadership in Vietnam. But I could see that it's quite stable around. And Vietnam is also have a stable rate of growth. And you see from here that we have around 6% around the round table. So during the last few years, we have a lot of change in Vietnam. There's a new law coming out, a lot of law reenacted, and it's supposed to change the environment for the investment, for the business in general. So we have the new law on investment that put out the licensing process. So we could see that the government tried to gap the difference between the foreign investor and the local investor. The new law on enterprise moved Vietnam to a closer with the international standard in terms of the corporate governance, and you create more comprehensive framework for the business in Vietnam. We have also the new law on real estate that expand the business, scope of business for foreign investor in Vietnam. So in the past, the foreign investor can only build new things in Vietnam and operate that new property. But from now on, they can lease the property that developed from somebody else and lease out that property. The law also allow the foreigner to buy house in Vietnam. That's a new thing that is expected to boost the real estate market in Vietnam. Vietnam also have a new civil code that will be effective from 1st January 2017, and it's introduced all new, well-known concepts that have been known over the world for so long, but it's the first time in Vietnam that will be affected. So in terms of international integration, where's Vietnam at the moment? Vietnam became a member of WTO in 2007, and the commitment that Vietnam made in the accession package is still the guide for the foreigner to know what is the condition applicable to them when they do the investment in Vietnam. Vietnam became a member of ASEAN in 1997, and we benefit from the free trade area agreement and what he calls CEPT, which is the common effective preferential tariff that's allowed the Vietnam to enjoy a lower import duty from other countries. And ASEAN economy has been formed in Asia in December 2015, and it's supposed to create a free flow of goods among the country by reducing the tariff as well as the non-tariff measures, create a free flow of service by allowing the country to have a lesser condition for market access. Like we can allow the other country to have 70% of the foreign ownership in a service company in Vietnam. And we also offer a free flow of skilled labor that remove the condition for moving labor from one country to another country. So Vietnam also a member of 9 free trade agreements, 6 regionals, and 3 bilateral. So the latest development in Vietnam is that in February, we just signed the Trans-Pacific Partnership with 12 Pacific Rim members. And this is supposed to be ratified right now, but we are waiting for US, Japan, and Canada, which is the main country that the ratification is the most difficult. And we also have the Vietnam-EU Free Trade Agreement signed in December. It's also waiting for the ratification. So the TPP has a challenge as well as the opportunity for us. We are looking forward to see the boosting of export that Vietnam have, mainly in the garment and textiles business. But we have to change our way of doing business by using our own raw material, not from import like in the past we used to do. We also have a chance to compete with China in some other areas, some other export products that is fading. But TPP actually give us some challenge that the state-owned company have to adjust their business. We also have an issue with the labor union because the agreement requests for the freedom of association, and we don't have it at the moment in Vietnam. And we also have a concern about the cost for business of the several companies because of the requirement about improving the environment condition. In terms of the EU-Vietnam free trade agreement, we expect a lot of impacts, and mainly is the increase of the flow of trade exchange between the bloc and Vietnam. We will see the importation of the machineries, chemicals, electrical products from EU to Vietnam. And at the same time, we also increase the export of the garments, textile, footwear, food and beverages, some animal products from Vietnam. And we also expect that there's a good quality of investment from Europe to Vietnam. So I would like to conclude my presentation by thank you very much again for the First Law International to let us become a member. And we expect that we will have more business with the network member and to serve well the clients of the network. Thank you very much.